Hey, what's up? This is Andy Fogarty from the AtHomeWelder.com, and today I'm going to show you the step-by-step process for putting together down rail sections for iron railing. Now I'm going to show you my personal step-by-step process from start to finish, from laying out your jigs to getting your material to welding it all together. So when it comes time for you to be able to do this, you won't be second-guessing anything you're doing. You'll just be ready to go. So we've got a lot to cover today, so let's get right to it. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to measure how far down we need to place our channel. So if you imagine this end as being the very top of your railing, and down here is where your bottom rail is going to be, that is the measurements you're going to pull. So I'll pull from the top all the way down to the bottom. I know that it's going to be 32 inches on my particular one. I'll mark where the 32-inch line is. And now I know where to draw my straight lines. So you can take your other piece of channel, line that up on the 32 inches for me, wherever it is it's going to be for you. And here's how to quickly pull a straight line going the rest of the way. So I'm just going to take this, hold it in place where it needs to be, and I can see that's 28 inches for me. Now, all I need to do is come down to the opposite side here, or maybe somewhere in the middle if you have a longer section, and make sure that I'm 28 inches the same as the other side. So that way I know that I'm square. I know that I have a straight line. So with that in place, I'll just simply take my marker and I will draw a line on my table. Very simple, very simple. Pull that up. Now I know where I want to place my jigs. And I'll take my little jig block, your jig blocks, your angle, whatever it is that you're using. I like using my little angle pieces here. I'll line those up perfectly on that line. I'll put in my screws, keep everything nice and tight, put my channel back on there, clamp this, and then put in the pickets. Alright, so now I have everything in place. I have my channel clamped down, I have my jigs in place, my channel is clamped down for the bottom rails. Now I need to find out the length of my pickets. And for the down rails, you need to kind of put everything in place before you can really find the true length of your picket. Because for each different angle you have for each different railing project, your down rail pickets are going to be a different length. Now they're always going to be within a certain amount, but it's still, you could be as much as an inch to an inch and a half difference, shorter or longer, depending on the angle that you're going to be using. So I like to just be on the safe side and clamp everything down, have my basic framework in place, so then I can pull my measurements and find out the length that I need. And this is very easy to do. So I have everything in place. All I need to do is just measure from one hole, one punch, to the next. Now, oops, I didn't have that clamped very well. So if you're using the solid channel, then of course you're gonna want to mark out where each picket is going to go and be very precise to make sure that you have the same markings on the bottom channel as on the top channel. It's very, very important that you get these exactly the same. So we're just going to pick one line or one hole, and we're going to line it up with the next one and see what the measurement is. And since you have a little bit of a breathing room on the top and on the bottom of each piece of channel, like down on the bottom rail you have this bottom section that's open, so you have a little bit of a gap there that you can kind of jiggle your picket in and out, so you can make it a little bit longer to make sure that you have a really good fit. Now you can't do that with the solid channel, which is one reason why I really don't like using just the straight up solid channel. I like using the punch, because with the solid channel, to really get a nice look, you're going to have to cut angles on every one of your pickets, which is very time consuming, and there's a lot of room for error there when you're doing that. So I'm going to pull my measurements. I'm just going to pick one hole and I'm going to line it up, and I can see that from channel to channel I'm at 28 1/4. So I'm going to go ahead and give myself another 1/4 inch on top of that, just to give me a little wiggle room to make sure that I'm fitting all the way in the hole. Okay, so now I've cut my pickets in place. All I need to do is just a matter of putting them where they need to go. Just filling them, putting them in the holes. So I'm going to finish putting my pickets in place, and then we're just going to go in and weld each side just like we did before. Alright, so now I've welded all the sides. I've flipped this thing over and I've gotten every side that you're going to see. So So you can see this is really just the same process as over and over and over. All we did was change the angle.